Just hours before the next big test for GOP presidential hopefuls, the polls still show Mitt Romney with a commanding lead. That makes tomorrow's New Hampshire primary a different kind of contest.
24-hour News 8's political reporter Rick Alvin joining us now for a look at how that vote can impact the nomination process, Rick.
Could be interesting. Tomorrow's race is going to be an interesting one in New Hampshire. For most candidates, it's a race for second. For some, a race for survival. Here's the latest average of polls from Real Clear Politics after taking a look at the most recent numbers, some compiled just yesterday. Mitt Romney is leading by double digits, as he has been in the neighboring state to his Massachusetts, where he was governor, of course. He's been ahead from the beginning of the contest. The average of the numbers shake out like this. Romney leads all challengers at 38.5%, Ron Paul at 19.8% for an average. Huntsman and Santorum both come in at 11.5%. And Newt Gingrich is at 9.5%. Now, if the polls are accurate, then the real race is for second. Santorum finished in a virtual tie in Iowa. Would like to add to that momentum. Huntsman has pinned all of his hopes on New Hampshire. And if he finishes 20 points behind Romney, and as the polling would indicate, could be devastating for him. Ron Paul has a steady, passionate group of supporters that will keep him in many of these contests. He has yet to prove, however, that he can break away from the field. And tomorrow may be that chance for somebody.
Yeah. Rick, after Iowa, we had one candidate, Michelle Bachmann. She pulled out of the race. What happens after tomorrow's vote comes in? Do we see some more people getting out of the race, or will they hang on for South Carolina?
It's a really interesting question, because Romney, obviously, if these polls go this way, he'll just continue to go and still is the perceived front runner. Ron Paul is probably in because he does have that core group of people that will stick with him. Huntsman's got to do something big. If he finishes 20 points behind in the state where he pinned all of his hopes, he's got to get out. At that point, there's not going to be any more money to raise for him. Santorum needs to do pretty well, but he'll go to South Carolina, I think, no matter what. Gingrich, another question. There are some who say it might be time, but he has supporters that have already given him money from South Carolina. He may even want to go on to Florida. And, of course, the other guy we're not talking about is Rick Perry. He skipped New Hampshire entirely, so he's got South Carolina. So here's the thing for Romney. If you don't start to see this field start to shrink a little bit and let some of that 60 or 70% of people who are looking for another candidate coalesce behind one, he continues to win at 30 or 35% in these states, and he starts to grow into the inevitability unless you get fewer candidates and a more head-to-head battle. And right now we haven't seen that as being a clear choice.
All right, Rick. Thank you.
Thanks, Rick.